Good afternoon. I certainly hope and pray that all is well. I hope everyone is having a good day. It's rainy here, but maybe not where you are. All right, so let's just get into it here. All right, so I don't know. YouTube makes these changes. You know, you can go on your channel and see all the people that subscribe. Well, I don't see it today. Don't know if that's everyone's channel or just mine. But it's kind of good because when people be subbing to your channel, some of them be these fake ass fucking readers on here. But that child trafficking shit, that's something that either YouTube is a part of or they need to check the fuck out. Period. Okay? And we just gonna say it right now. Return to sender. And in all your evil, eye projection, your black magic witchcraft, so you're being mad and pissed and all of that type of shit. That right back at you. Okay? All right? What they say, you mad, scratch your ass and get glad. Right? That's that old shit people used to say. All right? So anyway, there's this girl on here. Well, she has a channel on here. I'm sure people have seen her about her Miss Jamaica or Miss Universe or something like that from Jamaica. She Miss Jamaica Universe, something like that. She reportedly unalived herself. So I was watching one of her videos that one guy was posted to his channel, not a channel that I regularly watch or anything like that. I'm not familiar with his channel at all. I was listening to her story, and I was listening to what he said, and he didn't play her whole video. He just played bits and pieces of it. So I was listening to her. And one thing she said was this particular day, you know, at her job, and she saw these signs, and it seemed like they were telling her to do things or whatever, and to go, giving her directions, and she followed it. And she said it felt like a game. It reminded me like when I first found out, I guess that's confirmation on something. When I first found out about my birth mother not being this lady who raised me and whatnot, and all these little pieces, of the puzzle coming together. I was telling someone, I said, it feels like a game. It feels like a fucking game. Each time I found something else out, little piece here, little piece there, it feels like a game. And she confirmed, basically, she said, and nobody from off this goddamn app was I having this conversation with. And basically, she said it is. All right, but anyway, that's what it feels like. So each is like levels to it. I remember my daughter hit me to Hunger Games a while ago, right? And I looked at her, I was like, well, this shit feels for real. Not like this was before I found out any of this stuff, okay, when we were talking about the Hunger Games. And I said, is this supposed to be America? Because she was very well aware of the movie. She was introducing to me. She said, yeah. I said, is this supposed to be in the future? She said, yeah. So when I was, one day I was subbing at a high school, and I was sitting in, I think I talked about this, I was sitting in on an English class. I didn't have to sub as a teacher. I was just sitting in and I was listening. They were talking about dystopias. And I was like amazed, blown back. So after I was talking to the teacher, I said, well, that sounds like where we're headed. And she said, that's exactly where we're headed. The way she broke it down, I was like, it's like the Hunger Games. But anyway, so I hear some people talking about this gang stalking stuff and whatnot, whatever the end game is, It sounds like it feels like a game. This was about 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. Let me see. About 2022 that I said that to her. This feels like a game. And boy, oh boy, the from my own personal life, the more and more I have found out as time goes on, but there's still more. Every time I hear there's a lot more. There's a lot more. There's a whole lot more. Talking about my own personal life, all right? So anyway, so I had a couple of dreams. Now, I made some posts. I did a video a couple of days ago about this bitch, this tarot reading ass bitch. Want to make fun of my fucking bald head, so I made some posts about her dumb ass. But you can be mad, bitch. I don't give a fuck. You came at me. So I said, you dumbass heifers who do that dumb shit. You think ain't nobody, not look, they're gone. You think nobody's gonna say anything. You fucking fraudulent ass bitch. I would say ho, but the dude already did a reading on you saying don't nobody wanna fuck your ass. Pick me, heifer. Like you know something. Talk about, so we gotta do these readings on my memberships and get into the psychology of it. You don't know shit. You don't know motherfucking thing. You tell nobody shit. Just fuck with people's heads. Because you want to know something. Bitch, go to school. I don't understand you bitches who be mad at other bitches who do have some credentials because they got up off their ass and went to school because they wanted to. Go to school, bitch. Quit trying to embarrass and humiliate and talk about the next bitch because you got a fucking issue or you jealous and you mad at yourself or don't like yourself or whatever the fuck your fucking ass problem is. Just her hedonistic. If I send this to you, you a bald head, bitch, fuck you. Little ass, ugly ass pigtails. looking like roach antennas coming up off your fucking head. That little ugly ass child's picture of your ugly ass. No wonder you filter the fuck out of your pictures. If you just keep making your little memes and posts and your little silly ass fucking readings because you ain't sent shit. You dumb bitch. Just dumb. And I know you done seen all of them. All my posts, because that's all you do. Crawl around, scurry around all over YouTube looking for some shit to talk about and laugh at. And then get on there all hyped up. I don't know why I don't know why I'm so hyped up, because you just had a line, bitch. You know why. Any fucking way. So I had a dream. And bitch, I don't give a fuck what you say. What your silly cunt ass does. Anyway, fooling people. That's what you do. You fool people. Fucking trickster. You the scallywag. Clown. So I had a couple of dreams, right? Both of the dreams had to do with my dad. Now, I haven't really said a whole lot about my dad, more so about the lady who raised me and her evil plot and plan. And they still sending projections like they're gonna rule my life, but you're not gonna rule anything. So I was listening to this one guy, right, one day, right? He might be about my age, maybe a tad bit older. And he was talking about gang stalking and stuff. He was talking about his mother and his brother and all the people who did the shit to him. And he was saying how he didn't really want to, call them names and all of that type of shit. But then another video, he said he was cussing them out in his head. You know what I'm saying? Because one video he was saying he didn't think that was right. You go back and forth. That's this world. One minute you feel like, okay, you be listening to the bullshit about we should forgive the peoples. So it's really for you, which doesn't even make logical sense. It seems as though it would be, if you're forgiving someone, it really would be for that person. But see, y'all just, I don't want you to say y'all, people just listen to what the powers, the rulers, principalities, however they filtered down the information to tell us what to do and how to behave and how to do it. Some of this shit I be seeing on this app, I be like, that ain't even fucking real. I watched a short today about somebody talking about something that happened in the Uber, stumbling over his words, and I'm like, this shit ain't even fucking real. Motherfucker either he got paid or just doing something. I say, don't nobody talk like that. People don't naturally talk like that when they're in fear. And then it'd be some silly ass person, well, how you know, maybe he just was scared. No, wake up. Fear. They put fear in people. They harness people. Harness them, their emotions and whatnot, and control them. Well, anyway, some of this shit ain't even real. But anyway, so sometimes you feel like, okay, yeah, I forgive. I should be forgiven. I forgive. The yin and the yang. Be a little darkness in that light and a little light in that darkness, and then the wheel will turn light to dark, dark to light. Yet it still remains what it is. And sometimes you be like, fuck that, I'm not forgiving these motherfuckers for this shit. Okay, nothing wrong with that. It's normal. You don't have to decide to do anything based off of another person's word or some fear that has been placed in you and some illogical shit. That free you? No, the fuck it doesn't. You the one that's free in the first place. That's why the person came to do some damage to your fucking ass. Because they're not. You forgetting that free you? No, it frees them. It did something to you. Now you hold the power in your hands whether to free them or not. By the act of forgiveness. Now I know you ain't gonna believe it, and I'm gonna hear somebody who gonna watch this and they silly ass tarot reading and go against it. I don't give a fuck. He that hath an ear, let him hear. Most people are living in fear, afraid to hear. I remember when I was in the church, this girl wanted to take me out to lunch, and when we went out to lunch and we were talking about the whole thing, being born again and saved and whatnot, and she was asking me about my walk, and I said, well, I didn't really do it out of fear. You know, give my life to the Lord, to Christ out of fear. And she said, well, I did. You know, well, that's you. I'm not going to live I don't believe in living in fear. I'm not going to take an action based off of fear, even if it's something that's supposed to be to my benefit. At least I try not to. If I do, I have to question it, question myself. Question all things. But no, you're not forgiving someone to free yourself. How is that freeing yourself? How? But so you don't be bitter and angry. Who the fuck says that you have to? Why is that? Who I said this before. How does that equate to bitterness and anger? It does not. These are just words, ideas, and whatnot. Not backed up. Now that may be the case for some, but in general, it doesn't mean that that's the case at all times. And just because you say it, don't mean that you're gonna stop being angry about something some injustice someone has done to you. What's that saying? Growing or something means forgiving someone who never asked for it. How? Just because they say that don't mean that that's the case. You forgive somebody who haven't asked for forgiveness. You can, but they haven't asked for it. They're not apologetic. They don't care. They're gone now. Okay. So, no, it frees the person who has done the injustice to you. If it frees your forgiveness, frees them. I know some people, they have to stay in the box because they're here for other purposes. They want to help you, but they've been sent by something or someone. So they have to stay in the box. I ain't signed nothing. And I ain't in nothing. No groups, no communities, no organizations, nothing. Free. As free as you can be in this world. In this 3D realm right here. Okay. I'm going to tell you the fucking truth. Take it or not. Take it or leave it. I don't care. But don't call yourself throwing shit in my fucking face either. Okay. Anyway. So I had a couple dreams about my dad. Now, when I did the pendulum reading, I got that he didn't know about what this woman who raised me was doing to me. And I've asked continuously for a while now, a few years, not just my pendulum, I keep getting no. Howsoever, here's the puzzle pieces. The game. You know when they say life is a game, You just have to know how to play it. Whoever said that, wherever that saying came from, they were being literal, probably from the sound and looks of things. Hold on, I gotta get some socks. My feet are cold. I just can't stand a silly ass woman who thinks she's so cute and clever. Of being a unwarranted and unnecessary and uncalled for bitch. Thinking it's cute and clever. And then get mad. And have a fucking attitude. And the shit is thrown right back at her fucking ass. So to these dreams. I talked about when people do these projections, like know thyself, know who you are, know your shortcomings or your weaknesses, know what things, your insecurities or what things make you feel insecure. Know thyself, especially when you are going through a process of healing and getting away, getting up out of the cage, okay, in the lion's den and all of that shit these motherfuckers want to put you in. Because what they will do, even though you're gone, no matter where you go, because people talk about, well, you shouldn't move and all this kind of stuff. Sometimes it doesn't matter. You hear these people talk about this gang stalking shit, they move across the country and hit on some more motherfuckers. Okay, so this stuff just don't be just local. I'm not saying all the time. I've heard stories of people where they did move and they was able to go free. Let him go free. Because sometimes people they'll still project the energy. Okay, especially people who, if you have been up and around parents, mother, if you've been up and around them, you know, fucking most of your life and all, and they know you. Okay. Or they know people like this, these gang stalkers and evildoers and whatnot to you. They know what it is they did to you, how they molded you and shaped you and so on and so forth to harness up off of you to make you be who what they want you to be, control you and all this kind of shit. That's the one thing. It's like, you're not going to control me. I don't give a fuck what you project. And you know, some of that shit was on me yesterday. I was like, well, this is just fucking the projection. So I did something to rebel against the projection. Okay. It wasn't light no candle and all of that type of shit. So the one dream, I know that the last picture I saw of my dad, well, pretty much the picture wasn't nothing but confirmation. Hold on. Okay. All right. The picture wasn't anything but confirmation. I knew that there was some sickness there. Because even before all of this, when I did speak to him about what was happening, with a little bit of knowledge that I had at that time, which was 2021, I believe. Yeah, 2021. When I hadn't seen him in a while and I saw him and I was like, okay, he doesn't look well. You know, so well, he looks older, but he doesn't look well. My father always looked really good. Okay. Matter of fact, when I graduated from college, what was I, like 22? He was probably, I think he was 26 years older than me, so he probably would have been like, what was that, 48? People thought he was my brother. When graduation day, you know, we're walking on the yard and whatnot. I'm introducing him to people, and people are like, "Oh, is that your brother?" Like, "No, it's my father." When I was in graduate school, He came to one of my classes. Him and my sibling came to one of my classes, and they wanted to sit in on the class. And I introduced them to, the professor in class. And before I could say anything, he said, "Is this your brother?" And I was like, "No, this is my father." Okay. So my father always took really good care of himself. Worked out, ate well. Okay, spiritual person. Uh, I can't tell you much more than that. Okay. So even as the more he aged, I could see him aging, but he still looked really good. He didn't look as though his health was something to be questioned. Okay. My father did never walked around like, "Oh, I'm getting old," like that lady who raised me did, which I want to do a video about that, but that's separate. He never walked around like that, never acted like that, none of that shit. Okay, so he didn't carry on the persona of becoming elderly like she did. So when I saw him, the day that I saw him, I was like, wow, getting he's getting old. But it was more so he doesn't look well. He doesn't look well. Which was kind of disturbing because all of the years that I had known him, he again looked like he was getting older, but still didn't look. I don't know how to say it. He always had a youthful vibrancy about him. That was like dark. The youthfulness and the vibrancy that you could see just all around him. It was like dark. It was getting dark. Like it, you know. And I said to myself, well, maybe it's just because he's getting older. Although another part of me was like, nah, there's something else. He looks like he's getting sick. I don't know if he was at that time. So over time, I said to myself, because our last conversation was not a good, healthy one by text, and I said he's getting old and sick. Not because of the conversation, just because of your fucking attitude, what you're saying to me. Okay. Here we go, and I said to him, here we go with the same old bullshit that I've been hearing from you all my life. I don't want to hear this shit no more. I'm done with you and her, the sibling, and the whole fucking narrative. Because you damn sure don't have nothing to say toward me about who I am and how I am. You was never there. And the times that we did spend together, none of the narrative that you're saying fits. That's why I'm like, okay, the woman obviously lied to, the lady raised me, obviously lied to this man about me. And probably everybody else. Okay. So I got my little pendulum right now. Okay. I just want to see what some of these laws were, just in general. Okay. What is yes? Stop, please. What is no? Okay. Stop, please. I want to know about some of these lies that were said about me from whomever. Did anyone out there say that I was a drug addict? Stop, please. Am I now, or have I ever been a drug addict? I don't even look like a fucking drug addict. I don't even look like one. Did anyone ever say that I was an alcoholic? I can't stand the taste of the shit. Stop, please. I've never been able to stand the taste of it. Am I now, or have I ever been an alcoholic? You even look like one. Have I drank alcohol? Of course. Have there been times where I got what you call tipsy or drunk? Of course. Have I got pissy drunk? No. I don't even like the taste of alcohol and liquor and all that shit. I don't even like wine. There's a couple that I like. I used to like Bailey's Irish Cream. Sweet shit. Okay. There was a wine, I can't even remember the name of it. Very sweet. I liked that. And I can't even remember the name of what that shit is. Well, we know Breonna Jewel Bellamy done said it, but besides her motherfucking dumb ass, did anybody ever say that I was a prostitute besides Breonna Jewel Bellamy? Because we know she said it. Thank you, stop, please. Am I not, or have I ever been a prostitute? See, the typical dumb shit. I re- it is what it is. I rarely have sex, it's always been that way. Very rare occurrence with me. And the older I get, the last time I said this shit, like I said before, is primitive. There's nothing else these motherfuckers like. This is the peak. All the sexual debauchery, all the bullshit this is the peak to humanity. This shit right here. And it's not to say that I've never had, what they say, good sex and all that. Of course I have. But I'm like, this is it. This is the peak. I was thinking about when Breonna Bellamy did that thing, that long ass video talking about her mother being, and I think that she must have been a prostitute because she had nice clothes and nice shoes. So because a person has nice clothes and nice shoes, they're a prostitute. Some of you people, I'm not saying all of you, but people who talk like that, I mean, like, what do you live? What year do you live in? Like the dumb bitch making fun of me because I have my hair shorn, cut, but very low, bald. Be like, bitch, what year do y'all live in? But you're a spiritualist. But you live like in the fucking dark ages. Like, what? And the only thing you all care about is how it looks to a fucking man. And don't know that some men love the fuck out of that shit. And a lot of men do. They may not say anything publicly. Some do. Some bold enough to not to give a fuck what other people think. Just like, these bitches must live in the fucking, what is it, this 1100s or some shit. So dumb and backwards. But you carrying folks to the next dimension? No, you're not. So because the lady she had nice clothes and nice shoes, and she must have been a prostitute. Nice clothes and nice shoes equates to her. I don't know if the woman was or not. I'm just saying, that's just dumb. So poor, broken, poor in mind and spirit. You think that's because someone had nice clothes and nice shoes, they had to be a prostitute. Or because someone has their hair quote unquote bald, a woman does, you have the right to call her a scallywag, although you copy off of everything she fucking does and says. Gets a dried up, crunchy weave to hide all your fucking face. Yeah. That's progressive. Just dumb. Okay. One thing my dad would say to me a lot was that I was spoiled. You just a spoiled brat. What do you mean? That's what I kind of used to think to myself. What do you fucking mean? At the time, I didn't think the woman had anything. The woman who raised me, I'm like, was she broke and poor? I mean, like, don't get me wrong, we wasn't, uh, didn't come up in poverty. Well, according to the the United States guidelines, we might have, I don't know, but we didn't, it didn't feel like that. Because we had food, clothes, shelter. We had stuff. She had a job, a career. Okay, but I used to think to myself, what does he mean? Because he never gave me nothing. Did the lady who raised me tell my dad that I was spoiled, a spoiled brat? I would think to myself, what does he mean? While he's saying this shit to me, I would literally be like, well, what does he mean? I ain't never, you've never given me anything for me to be a spoiled brat, 4 or 4. So I'm thinking that's what he meant, like him giving me stuff or me asking, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't know what else you might have said to him. Okay. Was I a spoiled brat? No. Bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? See, I didn't know that she was saying things to him about me in the negative. No. Kid, like, how? Because if I also, which you're not there, we don't get any and everything that we want. We don't kick up and stir up and act a goddamn fool when we don't get what we want. I never saw my sibling do no shit like that either. So what the fuck are you saying? Where are you getting that from? But at the time, I didn't think to ask. I was a kid. Yeah. But did the lady who raised me say more things to him about me than that were lies? Which I don't know what they could have been. But that was the one main thing he would say all the time. Okay, so one of the last conversations we had, he said to me, because it wasn't good, I was having issues about my grandmother's house, which part of the dream as well, which I'll get into. And I was having issues with my sibling. I talked about that. And my dad was trying to, at least it appeared as though on my end, like he was trying to intervene. He was telling my sibling what he was doing wasn't right. She was in that house for 11 years. We can't be that way. So finally, he just gave up. And he, I don't remember even how, I got the text. I still have the text. I don't even remember how it's an old phone, but I have it. I don't even remember how we got to fussing with each other. But he said something to me derogatory. Once again, my dad always talked to me really low. I'm not gonna say 100% of the time. Even people who have to live with abusers. I'm not saying my dad was abusive to me. He could be with some of his words though. They have good times with one another. Okay, that's why sometimes it's so hard for a person to leave. But nevertheless, it's some of the same old derogatory shit that I had been hearing all my life from all of their motherfucking asses. And I was just at a point where listen, I'm 49. I don't, whatever. Keep that dumb shit. Oh, this is a typical thing. You need, what do you say? You need mental help or something like that. I was like, I need mental help, but you don't even know. You have 2 children. You don't even know which one is the oldest, the boy or the girl. I mean, I need mental help, but you don't even know which one is the oldest, the boy or the girl. You never know in all these years. You don't know which one came first. This is before I found out this lady was not my birth mother. You don't know which one came first. But I need mental help. I need mental help, but you done been married 4 times. You can't keep a wife, can't keep your children around them. But I need mental help. I mean, it was just the same type of energy that had been thrown at me ever since I could remember, a small child. And something he said, I'd have to look up the text. I didn't think I was going to go into this, but it didn't make sense. It's like, what are you talking about? You were not there in the house from when I was young, little, growing up. So what you're saying is not even logical. But it didn't dawn on me at the time, no, because what he's saying to you is the shit that the lady who raised you, again, I'm thinking she's my birth mother at the time, is what she has said to him about you. Okay. Um, and then he made a statement, the years I didn't talk to you, my life was better off without you, which was interesting. It was a motherfucker, you never been around. The fuck are you talking about? Oh, okay. I said, well, let your life keep on being better off without me. And I haven't talked to him since then. If you've been better off without me, then bye. Fuck do I care? Okay. Because you ain't never been around no motherfucking way. My dad could be really sharp with his words, and I had an aunt who told, well, a couple of them, his sisters told me how nasty he could be with his words. And I guess he didn't realize the apple don't far from the tree. I am your daughter. The words don't mean shit to me. Not at this point in my life. Because I know who I am. And like I said, what I say, know thyself. Because people will, when you are a targeted person, and you in the lion's den with all these people, family, quote unquote family and whatnot, they're going to say all types of shit to you about you to make you feel less than. Okay, so they can siphon off your ass and all of that type of shit. Okay, so you can say whatever the fuck you want to say because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I know who I am. I know how I've been. I know who I've been. How Bree over there, Brianna Bellamy saying all that shit. Bitch, shut the fuck up. You don't know me. It doesn't matter what you say about me. Talk about your old homely ass, homely than a motherfucker self. Better know who you are. Because, like I said, when you're little, you don't have any, you don't have the, tools to fight it back. So they do it to you when you're little, so you absorb the shit. But that's why I told him, I said, you know what, nigga, I didn't call him a nigga, but you know what, I've been hearing this shit all my life. Bye. That's not going to work anymore. Okay? It's not. You can't say shit about who and what I am because you was never there to know who and what I am. So, I saw a picture a few months back with him and the lady who raised me, my sibling, and a couple of his children. And I said, and that's how they wanted it. They didn't want me in the picture. And I've been knowing that since I could know that I was thinking. That's why I said I'm gonna leave these people one day. And I looked, I said, well, they got that woman. I said, then they got what they wanted. But I don't understand why you be worried about a man who damn near drove both y'all crazy in the first fucking place. You ain't gonna drive me fucking crazy. But I did send him a text when I was in New York just to let him know, hey, been thinking about you, any hurt, pain, whatever. My apologies. I'm in New York. Just wanted to let you know, I love you, The people relationships you have, it's not gonna always be roses. Okay? Sometimes them roses gonna smell like boo, ooh, boo, boo, boo. But so anyway, I had this dream. Now, the first dream was 2 nights. The first dream, I was somewhere. I can't remember. I was in someone's house, but it looked like, I can't remember whose house it was. There was a woman there, And I think it was a lady who raised me, but she was faint off in the distance. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but it was a woman. But mind you, my dad had a lot of women, so it could have been any one of them. I don't know. And he was there. It was like he came back from wherever he was. He looked much healthier. Oh, that picture that I saw of them, he looked. I looked. I said, "Damn, he's really not well." You can see it. It's clear. Very thin. Everything just looked different. That bright aura just gone. I'm like, that just looks like a whole nother human being. Doesn't even look like the person that I knew. And in a dream, like, okay, he looked healthier. He had on a nice outfit, and he sat down, crossed his legs, and me and him were talking. And he was telling me that he was better and that he was getting back with his ex. Is one woman I've addressed on here a couple times, and with the last ex girlfriend that I knew about. Okay, he could have had about 3 or 4 more since last time I didn't talk to my dad. That's he gonna have a woman around. Okay, and that they were moving into a new house. They had one house. They were keeping moving into a new house, and that they were going to be moving to Chicago as well. Okay, and there I sat looking at him. You know, felt like I was in rags, and he was all posh. And my dad, growing up, my dad never had nothing for us. He didn't. No money, no time, no love, nothing. I remember one time, this ain't a dream, I'm gonna get back to the dream. We were at church. When I talk about this church, this is my grandfather's church. And right up the street, down the street, is where his mother, my dad's mother, lived with her husband. And her husband was my dad's stepfather. Okay, dangerous man. Okay, but maybe that'll come up one day. I don't know if it needs to, but maybe. But anyway, so he came to the church. Me and my sibling were sitting on the steps of the church. All the kids, would go up to the corner store. You know how that was way back in the day, in the 70s, 80s. Go to the corner store and get them something. And I remember at us asking him if he could give us some money, to go get some stuff from the corner store. My dad took out a wad of cash. Okay. A wad. Opened it up, looked through it, and closed up and said, I don't have anything. Now, when you like 5 or 6 or however old we was, see, that could have been for a bill or anything. I know that now, but when you like 5, 6 years old, and it's just like a feeling of constant rejection, and I don't have shit for you. You ain't thinking about that could be for a bill or whatever. He just doesn't have it. No, that just looks like I'm like I got it, but I ain't giving y'all none. It was always like that. That's just an example. There's something he and my dad recalled that day when I was older. One time, me and him were talking. He recalled that day, and he said, I think it was Father's Day. And he told me, he said, I went up the street to see his mother. And he said, she fussed at me because she said something about, where the kids. And he was like, whatever, because we weren't with him. And she fussed at him. And he said, I apologize. I'm sorry I did that to y'all. I said, well, what were you doing that day? He said, nothing. It was a few things he did that stood out that he apologized to me for. I ain't saying he apologized to my sibling. It was just me and him having our time together. And he said, I just don't know where I was. He said, I just wasn't a father to y'all. No, you weren't. Okay. But that was then. It was like, okay, it's okay. One thing lady who raised me, she never really talked negatively about him. Every blue moon, she might have said a little something here if she got pissed off enough. But for the most part, she didn't say anything negative about him. Okay? Just, he's a good man. She would say that. I really, growing up, really admired my dad. Just my grandfather that I talked about that day, people would see in my grandmother's house was his biological father. And again, once again, my dad was the oldest. Well, he was the second oldest. The first child that was born died. Um, I think maybe, I don't know if the child was still born or whatever. My dad almost did too as a baby, but they were able to get him to the hospital in time. So I can't remember, something with his breathing or something like that, you know. But anyway, moving on. Um, so for me, a lot of things that my dad would do, you know, I just took it as like I take. You hear me say it is what it is. That's how I took it. You know, my sibling not so much. A lot of tears were shed, okay, by him. But anyway, so it was just always this feeling. And my dad, he moved from Cleveland, and he moved to, when he left the home, he moved in. It was a very nice apartment back in the day. It ain't now, but a very nice place back in the day. Then he moved eventually to Columbus, then Cincinnati, Newark, New Jersey, Atlanta. And then I remember him telling me at one point that he did live in New York. Okay, I don't, not for like no long period of time. Okay, um, and I'm thinking, well, maybe that's around the time that I came into play. Okay, um, and I don't know when. I didn't ask him when or anything like that. Um, After Atlanta, he came here. Okay, so he always lived in very nice communities. Okay, had a really good job. My dad traveled. My dad has been married 4 times. Okay, third time that he got married, we didn't even know. We didn't even know. You know, you know shit. Just go to stay with him one summer. There's his wife. Yeah, wasn't talk about no weddings, wasn't talk about shit. And she was the one who told him, well, if you ain't got time for your children, then you won't have time for me. When she married him, it seemed like he was more active. Okay. Now, this is what the lady who raised me said. When she married him, that's when he started sending money to take care of us. But God knows. See, I don't believe nothing that come out that woman's mouth at this point. Okay. If it's true, who knows whose money it was? It might have been his wife's money. Shit, I don't fucking know. Okay. But anyway, so it was always this feeling, you know, we were living like in the city. He was living in the suburb. Big, beautiful homes. Big, beautiful houses. But with the lady who raised me, it was always a thing of, well, I don't have the money. I don't have the money. We don't have the money. I don't have the money. That's all I ever heard. I don't have the money. I don't have the money. So wasn't no way in hell I was spoiled. Because if I did want a piece of or something, I ain't going to say, don't get me wrong. Please don't misunderstand. Okay? I'm not trying to say we was in rags. We absolutely were not. Okay, but it was always a thing of, I don't have the money, you know, and then looking at his life, like here he is in these big beautiful homes, you know, traveling the world, and all these wives and all of this fun, great, wonderful life and time and whatnot, and you know, we just making it. Okay, that's what it felt like, and then to be, you know, I just put it like that. Okay. Now, we wasn't in rags. We didn't live in the projects and all of that type of thing. No. Okay. I think there was a lot more there than it would made, than I was, at least, than I perceived by what things that were said and so on and so forth. Okay. It wasn't no need, if I wanted something that cost a lot, wasn't no need me calling him and asking him, would he get it for me? I knew that. Okay. You know, if I wanted something when I got a little bit older, I would work for it. Like I said, lady who raised me, she was my pastor's personal secretary, so they would let me come up in there and do little work, little odds and ends here and there to earn some money before I, you know, started working a job. Okay. So I earned what the fuck I wanted. Okay. So that was the overall sense of the dream. And I remember I was real in the dream. I was real like panicky, and I wanted to get this whole shit straight. with this other woman being my birth mother, so on and so forth. Let me tell you about this woman, who was she been doing to me. This was in the dream. So I said something to him, but I wanted to go in order. Okay. So I said to him, I want to know, tell me something along the lines about, tell me who, about my birth mother, who my birth mother is, or something like that. And he said, no, she's not your birth mother, talking about the lady who raised me. And I remember thinking to myself in a dream, okay, he's owned up to it. Because so many people, when I tell them the story, so many people say, well, have you talked to your dad? And I'm like, no. Talk to him for, well, did you ask him? I said, I asked him one time, and he gave me this kind of when I was first coming into the knowledge, he gave me one of those answers like, I didn't tell you the truth, but I didn't lie either. It was one of those type of things. And I said to people, he's not going to tell me shit. you know. And they're like, well, when people get older, I don't give a fuck. Some people go to the fucking grave never telling the truth. I said, I was 49 when I found out. Do you think I was supposed to ever find out at that point? You ain't gonna tell me shit. And I'm not about to go and listen to no more of his verbal abuse. The fuck? I'm not going around that. Because it's not going to be just me sitting there taking it. By the time I really say to you, which I have had one of those moments with my dad, where, okay, I'm not listening to no more of this bullshit, blah, 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 blah. And then, I can't believe she talked to me like that. No, you can't believe I said the truth. And I'm not 5 anymore, or 8, or 12, hell, or even 20. That's what you can't believe. And I'm not going through that anymore. Okay. The funny thing is, when I would tell this lady who raised me these things, thinking she was my mother, she was all supportive. Yeah, yeah, tell him the truth. Yeah, your daddy this, that. Okay. Yeah, you need to hear the truth. That type of shit. Yeah, she is in the background playing both sides. Or whatever the hell she was doing. So after he admitted to that in the dream, I started trying to say, okay, now let me tell you the rest of the shit that I've been sharing on here. But he kept over talking me in the dream, over talking me. I couldn't get it out. Not only was it a matter of I couldn't get it out because he was over talking me, I couldn't get it out because I just physically could not get it out. And I started to have like a, panic type of thing. And then I woke. I don't know if I woke up. I just remember the dream ending at that point. So a couple days later, maybe not the next night, but the night after, I had another one. I remember in a dream I was in my grandmother's house. Is that where this? Yeah, it took place in my grandmother's house. And my uncle was there, my dad's brother, who I mentioned in one of these videos. His hair was long. My uncle used to, my uncle had a curl for the longest, okay? And he had it pulled back in a ponytail. So my great-grandmother, he's with my great-grandmother, right? This was my father's grandmother. And we used to talk. She was so funny. And she said to me, she said, he came in the room one time, and because what I would do is after church, me and her started going out to eat. And then after we eat, and I go sit at her house for a while till I would go back to church on Sunday night. So one time, I was there on Sunday. We was in her room talking, and he came in, and he left out, and she looked at me. She said, would you tell him to cut that thing off the back of his head? Cut that ponytail. She could not stand it, but he had that for the longest. Okay, I always looked at my dad's brothers as they just were some cool dudes. Okay, my grandfather was, but anyway, so in the dream his hair was gray. He had it long, but he had locks, but they were the real small locks, like talk about sister locks. They had brother locks, or they were really tiny like that, and it was long. We were in my grandmother's house. My dad was there. Now, the two of them can't stand each other. We were in a house, But there were other people living in that house. I don't know who these people were. And my father and this is a dream, my father and my uncle sold the house to these people. And I was sitting there looking like, you know, what about me? This was like the way I talked about my sibling, kind of, how can I say, doing some unethical things concerning that house. Okay. And basically kind of not paying me the half that I deserve for the house when he sold it. But that's a long story, and I think I already talked about that. And it was just like I wasn't even there. Like they could have cared less. And I really do believe in my heart, I could be wrong, but I can ask my pendulum, that when my grandmother left the house, I don't think that she intended that house to be left for both of us. I think she intended the house to be left for me. Since I have my pendulum, I'll ask. Did my grandmother Livy, I'll say this, besides my grandfather, my grandmother Livy, did she intend for that house to be left for me alone? Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. Okay. By the way they handled things. Stop, please. Did they, whoever they is, which I believe may have been her sister, possibly lady who raised me, did they coerce her into adding my sibling's name onto that house, onto the quitclaim deed? I knew it. Because my brother, he just mean, evil motherfucker. She knew how he was. And I said to myself, I can't imagine my grandmother wanting to give both of us this house when she knows how he is. And especially towards me. Okay. Did my grandfather died when I was in the 5th grade. Did my grandfather intend for that house to be left to both of us, me and my sibling? My grandfather Marcellus. Okay. I'm getting a yes for that. Did they, my grandparents, do anything, I don't know, in regards to who that house would be left to before he died? No. So was it just talk? Something they were just talking about, my grandparents? Yes. Okay. Did my grandmother Libby decide that she wanted the house to be left? Now, again, let me say this. My grandfather died when I was in the 5th grade. My grandmother died when my daughter was born, so I was 35. Okay. So it tells you how many years. Did my grandmother Livy decide that she wanted the house to be left just to me because of the way my brother treated me in general? Yes. Okay. Did she feel that he would not treat me fairly concerning the house? Okay. Yes. Now, mind you, my grandfather died. I was in the 5th grade. My sibling was in the 6th grade. Okay. So we were kids. Right. All right. So back to the dream. My uncle really didn't look at me and say anything. He was business. That's how he is. About that money, about business, about that money. Okay. Moving on. These people were I don't know who these people were. Okay, in the house. And I remember looking out the window, looking at the house across the street, like it was snowing. And I remember thinking to myself, I wasn't going to be able to look out because we had a big window in the living room. Look out the window across the street anymore at the house with the snow on it, okay, in the wintertime. That me and my daughter would not be able to see that anymore because it was like the house was being taken from up under us. And in the house, the rooms in the house, everything was just like a mess. There was no order in the house, Okay. Now, when my sibling lived there, he had kept a lot of the stuff in the house that was there when my grandmother uh, was living. I mean, in terms of the decorations and stuff. When I came in, maybe after my first year there, I mean, I repainted and took down the old ass paneling. I mean, I just completely redid the decorative stuff over. Just completely did everything over. Then at one point I had a fire in the kitchen, and which was a good thing actually because the kitchen needed to be redone like completely, and had insurance on the house, so the kitchen was completely redone over. Which so it really worked out in my favor that happened. Okay. Um, it wasn't no me doing it on purpose and gonna risk burning down a house for a kitchen. Okay. But anyway, so I'm not quite sure, but everything in the house was just completely out of order. It was just a mess. My father looked at me, and I wanted to say something to him like, I can't believe y'all just sold this house from up under me. This was left for me. Okay. But I remember thinking in a dream, no, wait, my brother got the house. But how is it that they're selling it? A dream or whatever. And then my uncle was gone, but then my dad, he looked at me and he started saying, I don't remember exactly what he was saying, but it was a very dismissive. And it was like some other kind of spirit, okay, came over him. Real evil. Didn't look like him anymore. Looked like him, but it didn't look like him. It was just like another spirit came over him. It looked real evil, hateful, mean. Uh, and I started to go into that panic mode again. But something spoke to me and said, don't go into the panic mode, the fight mode. Do something else. And I did what I was instructed to do. And as soon as I did that, that whole thing completely broke. He disappeared. Everything was just disappeared, just gone. And I remember thinking in my sleep, a code. I broke the code. This was like I was saying, it's like games, like rules to a game, and you may not know the rules to this game that they've put you in, that you've been put in. Okay. Because once again, like when the young lady who unalived herself supposedly said that it was like a game. Like, and I hear somebody talking about this. It's like a game that you didn't know you were in. Somebody put you in. And that's what I felt a few years ago, when I came to the knowledge. I said, this feels like a game. Okay. But it was the spirit that came over him was that I have and you don't. You'll never have. Now, I listen to some of these readers talking about this shit and some of the gang stalking videos and whatnot, talking about this stuff, and that's one of the things that they don't want you to have. They don't want you to be prosperous. Some of them don't want you to have anything. They want you to be homeless out on the street. Some of them may not be that bad. At least let the bitch have a goddamn job, or whoever it may be. Okay, but some, I don't know. It depends on who you are, how they put you in the game, what part of the game, which I really feel it all boils down to who you are, which you may not have knowledge of. Okay, um, but that's one of the things. Don't want you to have money. Don't want you to have love. What else is there in this motherfucker? Those two things are like, I would say, almost like the foundation of everything. Money, because that's the way they set the shit up. You need it. It ain't exchange of goods and services anymore. Okay. You don't exchange your goods for the service of having lights, or having a roof over your head, or gas in your house, and heating, and all of that type of thing. No, you don't. You pay for it. Okay. Just the basic necessities. Hell, even if you have your own garden, you still gotta buy the seeds to plant the shit. Okay. Hell, even if you plant the shit from a seed of a fruit that you already have, you still have to be able to buy the fucking fruit to get the seed. Okay. What is it that you, in a material aspect, don't need money for? To wipe your ass, you gotta be able to buy some toilet tissue. Refrigerate your food. You gotta be able to buy the food and then have something refrigerated so it don't just sit on the counter and go bad. I mean, just everything. Even if you don't have a vehicle, you still gotta pay for transportation unless you walk. How viable is that? If you don't, and you maybe buy a bike, you still gotta be able to buy that motherfucker and maintain maintenance costs, money, money, money. Everything is money. Relationship, love, companionship, so you don't feel lonely and alone. Okay, so you have someone to validate your existence through quote unquote in relationship and exchange here of love. Feeling love, feeling which for human beings they need to feel that they are, worthy of existence. And how do they do that? A lot of times, in general, most people is through the validation of someone else. Okay. That's why for some people, when these things are done to you by people that you know, family, spouse, so on and so forth, it can be so hurtful and painful because here it is, this person you felt validated, okay, as a human being of worth because someone loves you, someone has validated your existence by giving you love. Now, some of these people, they so dumb, they're not thinking of it in depth. They just know the basic surface of it. So they don't want you to feel no love, and they don't want you to feel, they don't want you to have money. What else? That's it. I can't think of anything else. There might be, someone can tell me. Okay. But those are the foundational things of existence in this 3D realm. Because when you don't have those things can lead to what? Depression. For real, depression, clinical depression. And feeling that, and when you feel like you're not worthy, and you're made to feel like you're not worthy, okay, the depression comes on, which can lead to the extreme of one unaliving themselves or not being able to get up and live life. Okay. Getting out there, enjoying the sunshine, enjoying other people, so on and so forth. One thing that girl said was she felt like the world was against her. That's what they want you to feel like the world is against you. Okay. But once again, when I listen to yourself, okay, even in a dream. Like one lady on here that I watch, Urban Alchemist, and she says, be situational, okay? As I think that's the terminology she uses at all times, even in the dream state. So it came to me, okay, don't do the same typical thing. That's what the energy, whether it's him or a spirit that is working in him, okay, or someone else using his imagery to project onto me what they have been projecting onto me ever since I can remember, whatever it is, okay, that is what it wants you to be, in that panic mode. Okay, can't breathe, losing your breath, life here. Are doing the same, having the same reaction. This is what I'm saying. Sometimes we have to change our perspective. It's not just one particular way of thinking and being, but this is what the rulers, powers, principalities, and whoever threw you in the game, which is some rulers, powers, principalities, so on and so forth, want you to, this is what they want you to do. Now, do they want you to do that? Or are you given a choice to do that? It may not seem like you're given a choice, but once again, in your humanity, have you limited yourself? Okay, or have you allowed yourself to be in a space of limitation? I don't know who that is. I don't receive phone calls. Could be somebody who just want me to shut the fuck up. Okay. So I responded differently. The panic, but the begging, the pleading. What about me? That, which is what I did all my life. What's wrong with me? Don't you love me? Why would you do this to me? Even if I didn't say those words, the actions, the spirit of it. Oh, I see. Then when I responded differently, it immediately he was gone like poof. You know how the manual says. Let me see if I can find it here. James 4:7. Submit yourselves, therefore, to God. Okay? Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. That's exactly what it was like. I didn't give in to the energy that had always been there. I got more than you. You ain't got shit. You ain't nobody. You ain't worth nothing. And even this that was given to you, I'm taking from you, and I'm going to reap the benefits of it. That is what that person, him and his sibling, were doing in the dream. This, the projection that has been projected at you all your life. You don't have nothing. You don't have nothing. You don't have nothing. We ain't got it. We ain't got it. We ain't got it. You don't have nothing. You ain't nobody, etc., etc., etc. You're not even worthy, even though you're my child, to give it to you, to bless you with it. And what is yours, which I've been talking about, I'm taking from you. Okay? The little girl, why not? Why? What's wrong with me? What did I do wrong? Why don't they love me? Why are they taking this from me? Why won't they give me anything? Etc., etc., etc. The panic. No longer respond in that way. Like I said, his face morphed into resist what? The devil. So when I responded differently and resisted the giving in, which is what they want to continue to do, whatever it is they're trying to do with the projections, what did the devil do? I'm not saying my father's the devil, whatever the energy is that's there. Like I said, it morphed into something else. Gone. The whole scene was just like it just broke. Gone. Okay. Let's look at something here. No, not that one. Okay, I'm just going to read this. From whence come wars and fightings among you? Okay, what's the wars and fighting all about? Wait a minute, you know what? I don't want to read this version. It's too much these and thous and stuff. Let me see about this one. It may be easier. Okay. Says the same thing so far. But anyway, from whence come wars and fighting among you? Come they not hence, even of your lust that war in your members? Ye lust and have not. 6:6 here. Okay. Ye lust and you still don't have shit. Ye lust and have not. Ye kill and desire to have and cannot obtain. To the point of killing. Like I said, a serial killer. Even if it's energetically so. The projections. To kill so that you don't rise up and come to your true self and your true being. Stay down. You kill and desire to have and cannot obtain. These people that will trying to, even the whole destiny swap, take your essence, kill you, take your essence, your being, who and what you are, but you still can't obtain it because, God damn it, you are who the fuck you are. You'll never be that person. Ye fight and war, yet ye have not. And here it is, because he asked not. You have not because you ask not. But anyway, you ask and receive not because you ask amiss. In other words, you don't ask with belief, that ye may consume it upon your lust, and you only want to do it for lustful reasons. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that friendship of the world is enmity with God? Okay, being of the world, being in the world, but not of it. See, some of these people on here with their bullshit, and the lying asses, spiritual, just as worldly as the day is long, but they don't see that. Why? Because they of the world. They're not just in it. Calling themselves leading youths on a spiritual path when they just as worldly lust is what I'm hearing. When they just as worldly as the day is long. And care not about no spirituality. I'm not saying every person on here. But a dumb bitch worried about whether I cut my hair bald or not, but yet you come your ass over here stealing my shit for worldly gain. Picks me. We did the reading on your ass, and maybe we'll do another since you've been reading me for over a fucking year without my permission, or because you think it's funny. And yes, you have given me permission to read your dumb ass when you have just broke into my world and read on me. That's the permission right there. Friendship of the world is enmity with God. In other words, let me look up the word for people who may wonder what enmity means. The state or feeling of being actively opposed or hostile to someone or something. Okay. That's what I said when I asked the woman who put the enmity between me and my sibling. Because there's no reason for the hostility. All right. Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God. That's it right there. And that's why you get on and say things, act like you're Christian and act like you're coming from a Christian perspective, and you say things that are a direct opposition of the book. Your fucking Christian book. Or you're just dumb. Which you are. Spiritual Court TV, my ass. Who's giving you the fucking authority? You don't even know what's in the fucking book. Gotta be called to read tarot. Where? Fucking liar. You fucking fraud. False prophet. Ain't that what y'all call me? Do ye think that the scripture saith in vain, the spirit that dwelleth in us lusteth to envy? But he giveth more grace. Wherefore he saith, God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Submit yourselves to God, resist the devil, and he will flee. Draw nigh to God, and he will draw nigh to you. Okay, now you may be hearing this from that kind of Christian perspective. Okay, that spoke to me in that dream and said, do not give in and respond the way you normally do. Resist the temptation. The temptation is there for you to fall back into that place, in that space. And why would you say, how's that a temptation? You're used to it. Motherfuckers like that shit. You're comfortable. It's comfortable. Even when people can be walking around sad and pitiful and whatnot, and then, here you are trying to give them something to lift them up, and they go right back because it's comfortable to them. Draw near to the word that the God that is within you is giving you to tell you how to resist this evil shit that is coming your way, to try to put you back in what they want to say is your place. No, the place they put you in because of their fear of you and being intimidated by you in the first fucking place. So it was almost like I said, I just remember thinking to myself, as soon as it broke and I saw it, just like gone, everything all around me, the whole house, everything just gone. And the people, everything. And I said, it was a code, some kind of code. I spoke the code. I broke the code. You understand what I'm saying? All right. I don't know if even if something was being said to me in terms of who my father may actually be, I can ask. Okay. So I woke up, I was like, well, goddamn, I've been thinking the whole time maybe he was somewhat innocent of all this shit. I'm not quite sure now. Okay. Or was it just a dream in the healing process for me? Okay, of the stuff that is been in there for like 49 years plus years. I say 49 because that's when I come to the realization. Well, I was told I thought that was 221, 2015, 6 years earlier. I was told that woman was not my mother. Okay, not by any 3D person, 3D materialized human person. No, hold on. All right, then I'm gonna leave that there. I'm being told no. Let me see. Is there anything we need to know about this here? Resist the devil ain't always about don't have that drink. Okay. Things are they're layers, layers and layers and layers, and sometimes I'm like, oh my god, how much longer will I have to deal with this shit? In terms of not people bothering me and harassing me and all this type of shit, but finding out more and more and more and more. It's like it's layers upon layers upon layers upon layers. Hell, maybe for the rest of my fucking life, which is cool. Don't allow it to, for those of you going through this, don't allow it to put you in a mindset of you can never be free. One thing she said, that this young lady in her video, was she felt trapped. Oh, I know that feeling. Like I said, when I said on a video a long time ago, when I was younger, I remember we lived in this house in East Cleveland. We moved when I was 11. It was when we was living in that house. I was real young, and I felt like, I keep hearing, I know why the cage bird sings. I felt like I was in some kind of cage, even as a little young girl. Like, like I can't move. like, like I was in some kind of tunnel or cave or some shit. You understand what I'm saying? Excuse me. A trap. And the spirit of whatever that's using them, whatever that they've given themselves over to, and whenever they did, okay, um, those projections, they still come. I still have those moments and those times. I still have those moments of, maneuvering through this whole thing, um, where I'm not quite where. Like I haven't quite hit I'm not talking about this destiny shit job of some of these motherfuckers be talking about, which ain't got nothing to do with, I'm gonna be a star and have a lot of money. That's all y'all talking about. Some of them that do that shit. That's all they talking about. And a big handsome man with a big dick. That's all they're talking about. They ain't talking about shit else. Believe it. I ain't saying everybody, but a great majority. That's all. That's it. They want your destiny? Yeah, not destiny. Ain't doing shit. But sitting there, ragging on the next bitch. Trying to take their essence. Fuck out of here. Okay, so I was going to say destination. We are our destiny. So them motherfuckers, they want a motherfucker who doesn't do anything with themselves. And what I mean is doesn't go within themselves and live out their being through their talents, gifts, so on and so forth. They're not taking shit from nobody. That's a lazy motherfucker who doesn't believe in themselves. So I want to be you. I can be you better than you can be you. Bitch, you can't even be you in the simplest of forms. How the fuck are you gonna be somebody else? Oh, because it looks like they supposed to be rich, and if I was them, I would dress like this, and if I look like that. But bitch, you ain't them, and you don't, and you never fucking will, because you think that person's Destiny is supposed to be somewhere walking around with a old white man's purse with his fucking LV name on, or whatever the fuck the bullshit is. On yachts. I had a girl tell me that one time. Like, Nick, you just always seem like to me like you're supposed to be dating men and going on yachts and oh, bitch, get the fuck out of my face. Look at that dumb shit. And I heard shit like that all my life. People look at me and they see money. That's what the fuck you want. Like I said, I couldn't figure it out. I used to be like, I don't know why people think I got money. People always thought I had money. Like a lot of fucking money. I don't know why. Well, I do. It's like, bitch, they look at other people say they look at you and they smell it. Well, like I said to the lady who is my birth mother, who did come from a wealthy background. Like I said, you heard me talk about the trust. I said, it's a lot of people involved in this shit. I said, goddamn, how much did they leave? How fucking much was it? For all of these people. How much? And like I told the lady, you know, ma'am, that shit be in your fucking veins. It's in your DNA. It should be in your DNA. I remember when I was younger, I always, uh, I always had this taste. Just, you know, you take me, lady, take me, honey, buy a couple of dresses they have, and they say, okay, let's go. Nikki, I can't buy you more than one of them dresses. Why don't you look at the sale? I was like, this is just what I like. I always had, you know, taste for high quality shit. Not because it's got somebody's fucking white ass, old ass, racist ass name splattered on it. I just like the quality shit. Well, what they say, what's the budget they say, what was it called? I don't know, with a malt liquor budget. I didn't have a lot of money. People thought I did. That's what you're going after. Like Miss Zarita. That shit be in your fucking veins. In your fucking DNA. It's in your blood. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody or anything. I'm just telling you the experience and what the fuck it is these motherfuckers want. That's what you want. And that's why you can't believe that, no, I choose to live the way I live and choose to be me, not walking around with my nose stuck up in the air like with a whole bunch of shit draped on my fucking body. I know how to make it do what it do, whether I have it or not. Everybody's dumb. And that's what the fuck you want. You ain't gonna you can't be me, you ain't gonna never be me. Trying to crawl up in my fucking skin. It's so insulting that a bitch like this bitch Zarita would even try to steal my essence, walking around here like she's me. As nasty and low down and disgusting as you are, because you think it's in things. And I done had some nice shit, but that ain't me. That don't make me. Fuck out of here. You know, they be talking about these people with money for real. For real. What they call not ghetto rich, not nigga rich. White, black, purple, green, whatever. Some of them, they be walking right next to you in the store and you wouldn't know it. They don't wear it on their fucking bag. But you do. So that's why you think you can be me better than me. Because I done heard that type of shit all my fucking life. Long enough. You just seem like you would be. Kind of fucking face for dumb shit. Happy have been her. She don't know what to do with all that she got. I know, Doobie. Fuck out of my face. You think be looking at you walking around with a bunch of slave shit draped all over your fucking body would hurt me. Really. There was a time because of the work that they had done on me and me not knowing, I would have felt love. Not anymore. So I said, know who the fuck you are. And even part of that is if you're able to, you do need to know what these bitches be on here talking about all the time, your bloodline. You do. Well, it's helpful. Know who you are, where you come from, who your people are. As much history on them as you can get. So I used to have pictures of, when I lived in my grandmother's house, of my ancestors. I had my father's grandparents, his father, his stepmother, the lady who raised me, her mother and father, because I thought they was my, biological grandparents. It was really nice. As soon as you walked in the house, that's the first thing you saw, black and white, beautiful pictures. Well, here go this bitch trying to be me. I put the pictures of my ancestors and I came home and they was burning. I don't know how. Ain't shit else in the room burned. Nothing else. No. Just the pictures. Maybe your mother burned them fucking pictures. And she didn't want you to connect with yourself. Your dumb ass. You may say, well, why would you call her dumb? Because she is. Be your fucking self, bitch. You're trying to be somebody else. I'm thinking that shit. Now, this is what I want to know. That white powder that I saw in my house, is there some things that really put in my house? That shit. I already talked about it, but I want some confirmation. Was it cocaine? Was that white powder cocaine? I really don't know. Yes. Trying to set me up. Was she trying to set me up on some kind of drug charge to put me in fucking jail, to have me arrested and in prison? And bitch, we know you was doing that shit and whatever other drug you can get up in your system. But you think you gonna be me. For real. You think, look at that. But you think you gonna be me. Bitch, See how dumb. Okay, let me see. Anything we need to know about any of this? Oh, wait a minute. I'm shuffling. Maybe Spirit saying no. The will. Nine of Swords. Five of Pentacles. Four of Cups. I don't know. Looking for some kind of fortune. Okay. Thinking that that's going to eliminate your fucking torture. Not wanting to be rejected. This is Rita bitch. And motherfuckers like her. Okay. Alright. So you took on some shit you ain't had no business. You done ass. And now you fucked up behind it. I'm hearing. Alright. Let me see. Anything about this dream that I have with my dad, concerning my dad, the house, and so on and so forth. Let me check it. Okay, let's see. Ten of Wands in reverse. Well, hopefully, breaking that code, release that burden. I mean the burden of my dad. I mean that's the spirit of that. The spirit that was there that I resisted. Okay, and didn't give into anything else. The burden here, the conflict that was brought to me and has been brought to me continuously for years. That projection. Okay. It wants in reverse. Hold on. No longer being targeted by these motherfuckers. Okay, or your targeting not working. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, your targeting no longer working. I'm not the little girl. Okay. That you all were doing your evil shit to. Okay, yeah, something about that house, okay, but I don't know if it's so much about that house or just the dynamic that I was in that I called home. It's not my home. And I'm hearing you can move on in your freedom. So that is for others there. You can move on in your freedom here, okay, to the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, that is set for you. Okay, and I ain't talking about these motherfuckers. Like I said before in another video, you can take shit from people, their inheritance and all of that kind of stuff. Like God is dumb. If God has an inheritance for you, if the universe has an inheritance for you, confirmation, then guess what? Guess what, motherfuckers? You're going to get exactly what it is that you're supposed to get in due time. Okay, when it's supposed to come and how it's supposed to come. Okay. All right. Now let me see. That text I got this morning about these goddamn sister locks. Somebody wanted to make an appointment. Was that Philippe? Of course it was. From the same number that I mentioned earlier. And then he worked on me all morning long. I'm trying to get me a chakra shit. Heart chakra. That's what this guy does. Confirmation. I'm hearing to appeal to his wishes. Oh, I gotta go. Let me hurry up. Anything I need to know about this motherfucker. Believe constantly. What is this nigger looking for? Okay, first of all, some shit ain't going right in this fucking life. No fucking harmony. I don't give a fuck. Weak than a motherfucker. Okay, not victorious. Okay, and I'm definitely guarded against his no good, tricky dicky, low down dumbass. A nigga I've never even had a real conversation with. Okay, but he had to be a part. No, I do not see you as a star. There is nothing about you, I'm sorry, that the rest of the people do see you as something, as somebody, when I don't. Nigga, maybe you're sick and obviously you got some issues with money here. For trying to take down somebody and win at all costs, okay? You thought that shit was gonna make you happy, okay? And that you was gonna end up being somebody, maybe in charge of me, but nigga, not now, not ever. And you still somewhere trying to figure out what to do. How can I get at it? Plotting, plan, and scheme. With your dumb ass. Okay? I don't know, maybe people aren't working with you anymore. I don't know. Yeah, the fantasy, the bullshit, it's not coming into play like you thought it was. You don't believe me to be who I am. I don't care. Alright? You need to let go of the shit, motherfucker. Alright? And empower your dumb ass self. Alright? Alright, that's it. I have to go. I forgot I had an appointment. Alright. Hopefully that was helpful to someone. You all have favor. Peace.